I hit the wrong button.
My cat is being squeaky.
I went directly to Paul for some unknown reason.
Okay.
Maybe it's just because it's Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
What are you
But
doing?
welcome back, everybody, to First Ring Daily. We
Oh,
are.
we started.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry, I thought we were doing that one over again.
No, we're not. And I'm not. No, we're just gonna leave it because
Okay.
the people like it, Paul, when it's raw and uncut or something.
This cat, just go to me real quick. See if you can see the cat. Look at this stupid thing. Petting herself on the microphone. I know, honey. Relax.
It's amazing how animals know that you're actually doing something of importance to interrupt.
Oh, are you paying attention to something that isn't me? Here, let me stick my butt in your face.
Because I suspect, and I'm just going out on a limb here, that you don't detach that microphone and move it every single day, and it just sits there.
That's right. That's right.
But
Yep.
today's folks, I almost said. Today's show, folks, is brought to you by Cloudberry Lab. Check them out at cloudberrylab.com/FRD to learn how to better back up your data. Grab your data, choose a cloud, Google, AWS, Amazon. I said Amazon twice, but Azure, Backblaze. I cannot talk today. They're all good. You can use them with them. You can go check them out for a free offer. And hopefully my pronunciations will improve, unlike your camera, which I restarted Skype. I can't tell. It might be better today.
I mean, I don't really see any issues, but I don't know.
Well, we all know you just have bad eyes, and that's why everything looks
Well,
blurry.
yes, that's definitely true. Stupid cat. If you see my microphone bouncing up and down, it's because the cat is just going to town. I swear to God, she's dropped like 10 pounds of fur in my office in the past week. It just comes flying off her body. I don't know where it comes from exactly. It keeps coming back. She should be bald.
Well, actually, I don't know the shedding season. Why did my echo
There's no
just come
season. It's the season when they're alive. They just shed. Well, right now they're shedding because they're excited because they've figured out that they can come downstairs without being mauled by an animal, and they're really happy to be back in the rest of the house. So they're just leaving hair everywhere. They just walk around and like hair just flies. It's good too because I have a white desk, so it just it looks like it's made out of hair now.
The song Cat Scratch Fever keeps jumping into my head, but here we are.
Yep.
Here we are. Folks, for those who haven't heard the news today, and this isn't exciting news, I guess, really, because it's this is the CES of 5G announcements, because Intel said today that they are working with Dell, basically every single OEM, PC OEM, and they're going to bring 5G PCs sometime late next year.
Yep. You'll remember this, Brad, because we were there, but maybe, I don't remember if this was live broadcast, but during the Qualcomm event in December, they were talking about 5G. And I'm going to get the numbers wrong. The raw numbers don't really matter per se, but the big innovation with 5G, surprisingly, is speed. But to put that in perspective, what it means is the ability to download a 4K movie in like under a minute or something, like just tens of seconds, and that's transforming, right? Because today with whatever speeds we have, which are great in many cases, 4K video is a reality.
Yep.
Cloud storage is a reality. We already have enabled this world in which we can store everything centrally in the cloud and access it from almost anywhere. But this basically gives you the access to your files from the cloud at the same speeds you would have if it was right there on the SSD. And that's why this is transformative. It's really, really important.
Yeah, and what's going to be great is when Verizon and AT&T pair this with a 3 gigabyte data cap.
Yes. Well, as we mentioned yesterday, the weak link in any plan like this is always the wireless carriers. But, hopefully demand and whatnot changes that. I don't know. We see, like Project Fi is too small to really impact the big carriers a lot. Although, I do see some things that happen first in Project Fi occur elsewhere. But you have little upstart carriers like T-Mobile that have a way of, introducing things and then having it, all of a sudden appear on AT&T and Verizon here in the United States. So I think the right thing will happen eventually.
Eventually. I'll be curious to see what happens. I believe that's going to be coming second half of this year.
Yeah.
not the PCs, but all that other stuff. I'm curious actually when ARM PCs with 5G will launch.
Yep. I mean, I think we're looking at whatever they call it now, gigabit LTE or whatever for this year. I think I could be wrong, but I think the Qualcomm 5G stuff might be tied to not the chipset that's coming out this year, but maybe the next one, something like that. So we could still, maybe it's the next one, but it's yeah, I think we're still a little ways out.
Yeah, because that's kind of the race at this point is who's going to get there first, ARM or Intel, and Intel is announcing their stuff. But if Snapdragon or Qualcomm keeps to their traditional schedule, we will learn about their chip, in about December that in theory would support it. And then we probably see it early next year. But when that shows up in a PC, that is a different thing.
Yep.
Paul, speaking of Mobile World Congress, is there absolutely anything that's...
Yeah. So hopefully by the time this podcast appears, I'll have an article up about Samsung and the Galaxy S9, which they're going to announce on Sunday night. Sorry. My dog has walked into the room to regard the cat and left because that's what happens now. There's been kind of the Cold War is ending, you know? Anyway, I was curious because she kind of walked up with her ears up, and I thought she was actually going to do something, but she just was kind of like, and then she kept going. What was I saying? So Samsung, obviously last year was coming off the huge defeat of the Note 7, needed a big hit. They got it, the S8 and the S8 Plus, and now Sunday night they're going to announce the S9 and the S9 Plus. So these things have leaked, I mean, I think pretty much fully. We today have a very good idea what those phones are going to be, and they're exactly what they should be, which is an evolution of this already trend-setting and innovative design that they first shipped a year ago. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. You know, I bought an S8 Plus last year and then ended up returning it, and it's kind of ironic, maybe not the right word, but at the time, a big part of it was just the expense of the phone, which, by the way, was like $850. I've since spent $1,000 on two other phones, and
congratulations.
Kind of putting that one in perspective. I sent back the iPhone, but the Pixel 2 XL that I did keep, which was about $1,000, I'm really, really unhappy with. And so I'm going to look at these phones and really think about this. I want to look at the reviews. I want to see if the cameras measure up. That's the big thing. But as far as the design goes and all that kind of stuff, they look like no-brainers to me. So, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. And unfortunately, folks, that's really about it. I know people are always like saying, "Well, what about the LG or the?" I don't even know who else besides LG.
Huawei should be have some presence there. By the way, I'm reviewing the Mate 10 Pro, which is a great device, and it's absolutely flagship class. It's in the same category as these other phones, but they just got screwed out of the U.S. market by what is basically raw xenophobia, and it is the most awful thing in the world. And I had to ask them about that topic, and obviously it's a sensitive issue, so there's not much they want to say on the record about that. But it's disappointing because this is a company that, frankly, is in many ways the.
Is there? I was going to say, is there a creature?
Yep. This is surrounded by animals. So Huawei, in many ways, is kind of the Apple of the Android world, but we don't really see that here in the United States, and they have some design elements in their phones which I kind of like on the software side. The hardware is obviously beautiful and all that stuff. I'd really like to see them have a bigger presence. They're already, I believe they might even be the number 3 phone maker already, even without the U.S. market. I mean, imagine how huge they could be if they could just compete everywhere.
Yeah,
what a benefit that might be.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's anybody who actually comes out with something that's not a candy bar style phone with an edge-to-edge screen and promising the best pictures on the market.
Well, look, that design, the 18:9 aspect ratio, the with some curvature of the screen wrapping around the sides, or at least a near bezel-less type design, is still pretty new, right? So. Apple only has one phone that is sort of in that class. It will be years before they fully transition to it. Samsung has a couple, LG has a couple, Huawei now has a couple, Google has one, right? And so we're still in the middle of that transition. And I think the thing that's going to be cool for people who can't afford these $850 to $1,000 phones, which should be about everybody, by the way, is that kind of design will come down market too.
Sure.
Right. And I think that's a big deal. The camera quality thing is something that needs to come down market as well. But yeah, right. I mean, we're talking about degrees here. The camera in the Pixel 2 XL might be 1% better than the one in the iPhone 10, which is 1% better than the LG V, whatever the new one is, 30 or something. They're all very close to each other for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. We will see. I'm assuming wireless charging will be a thing. USB Type-C will probably be a thing. One of the things that'll be interesting to see is if companies start including wireless earbuds into their phones. Remember, many years ago, it used to be very common that you get a headset in your with your new phone.
That's right. That's right. The Huawei comes with one, by the way. It's USB-C based. But by the way, just if you don't mind a little side story here, I drove down. Well, it's semi-related to this. One of the things that's been irritating me about my my Pixel 2 XL is it doesn't have a headphone jack, and so I use it with those Bose noise canceling headphones that I love. And a little dongle that comes in the box with the phone. And I have had no end of problems with this dongle. And I wasn't sure if it was the phone or the dongle or something with the headphones. And I've tested it in various combinations with different things. I've gotten dongles from other phone makers, right? So OnePlus ships a dongle for actually, no, they don't, not for headphones. Huawei does. I got one, I think, with a Lenovo phone. They don't work with the Pixel. When you plug it in, it says this device is not supported, and it won't deliver sound. So that sucks.
Yeah.
But the bigger issue for me is that the dongle that Google provided is unreliable, and so I can move the microphone or the headset around as you would, just moving around, and the sound disconnects. And if you're on a plane or if you're out walking in the world, what that means is the sound starts playing through the speaker on the phone instead.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and it's like, so you don't hear anything in your headset, and now it's playing out here. And you can't wiggle it anymore to make it work. You have to unplug it and plug it in, and it's a popping sound, and it's awful and whatever. And so last night I drove, and I took my wife's car to drive where I was going near Philadelphia. It was about an hour drive, and I took her car because she has a better sound system, and I would have options for plugging in. And I just wanted to listen to podcasts. I almost probably killed myself trying to, because I'm driving with wires and trying to figure this thing out. It didn't work. The sound was so terrible and so muffled, and then would cut out because the phone would move a little bit. And of course, I'm using Google Maps as well because I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. That I ended up just playing the sound through the speaker of the phone, which when you're driving is not very loud because there's road noise and whatever. And I got home and I was actually really infuriated about this. In fact, I determined that this morning I was going to get up, troubleshoot this thing, and if it was the phone, I was going to contact Google and be like, I want to send this thing back. I'm tired of this crap. And what I found was, it's not the phone. It's the dongle. So because I am compulsive, when I bought this phone, I bought a second dongle because I like to leave one in my travel bag just in case, because, you lose things like that. And I didn't want to be without music or podcasts or whatever. I grabbed the other dongle, and that one works fine. So,
bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, I was trapped in a car with no way to listen to audio from my phone because of a dongle, because of a stupid $10 part, really aggravating. I want a headphone jack, Brad. That's what I want. I wonder if the S9 will have a headphone jack. I'm going to spend $900 so I can get a headphone jack.
It would be revolutionary.
Courageous.
Yes, well, maybe it can join up with maybe a cassette player in the box as well. That would be...
Yes. I'll load up one of my old mixtapes from 1988. Sure, I got some Eddie Money or something I could get going.
Maybe some Kenny Loggins on there.
Yeah. Danger Zone, Brad.
Speaking of Danger Zone, Paul, I have a conundrum, and I have no idea what the hell's causing it.
Okay.
So, hooked up to this TV, this is an Xbox Elite controller. That's some scotch, but the scotch is not relevant to the story, but the Xbox controller is. I have an Xbox One S hooked up to this TV, and every time I turn it on, it turns the Xbox on. So I figured I know there's like an HDMI feature that allows that to happen, and so I was like, you know what, I don't feel like trying to fix this. It's whatever. So take that scenario, and then because of all the stuff I've done upstairs with the HD home run and all that, I don't actually need an Xbox connected to the living room piece or living room TV. So I disconnected it, and I brought it down here, and I'm actually going to give it to a friend. And so I hooked it all up, reset it, and did all that stuff, factory reset, got it all cleaned up. And I did not hook up the HDMI cable to my Xbox One S. But when I turned my TV on, the Xbox turned on.
Huh.
I have no idea how it's... I don't know if it's picking up a signal from this remote, and that's what's doing it.
Yep, I bet that is it. When you first said this, I was going to tell you that on your TV, because I have the same TV, one of those ports, I forget the term, but it does that kind of pass-through thing. And, it enables what you're doing, like one button, everything on together kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I have a sound bar that I plug in through that because that's how the sound bar comes in, or whatever. It's ridiculous. But you're saying that these things are not connected.
Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
It just turned on.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it must be, the Xbox must be programmed to use the remote from the TV.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, so if you, but the Xbox is not connected to it, that's the problem?
Correct. I'm looking at the end of the HDMI cable, and it's sitting on my desk.
What would be interesting is, you should try this. Plug in the Xbox again, and then see if the TV remote navigates the Xbox UI. Because if it does, that's what's happening. It's using the remote.
Dum. I should, because that would be nice if I could turn that feature off, because it's completely useless.
Okay.
I mean, I should say it's completely useless for my scenario. I don't particularly need it, but I know somebody's going to write in and say, Brad, but I use that every day, and I'm sure you do, and I'm very happy for you, but it's not relevant to what I need. Paul, you screwed around with PWAs on Chrome. Are they any different than PWAs on Edge?
Yeah. So,
no, really?
Well, in other words, we know PWAs are coming to Windows, and we know they're coming through the store, and we know that they will look and run like apps, right? And so, great. But I don't know of a way to do that right now, even with an insider build. I don't believe there is a way to run a web app as an app, like you can do kind of in Chrome, just in the browser with, pin sites or whatever, shortcuts. Google, following in Microsoft's footsteps here in an interesting way, is adding the same capability to Chrome OS. In other words, desktop support for PWAs. To date, Google has supported it only in Android as mobile apps. So in the Dev and Canary builds of Chrome now, you can enable this functionality. You can see what it looks like. And so I tried that, and it's actually pretty cool. Like, and I think it's a neat preview of how this will work in Windows. Obviously, there'll be the discoverability thing in Windows, which we're not going to have in Chrome for the foreseeable future. But assuming you can find a PWA, and I used, I already have Twitter Lite in there, but I used Starbucks and the Google Maps PWA version, and they run like app windows. And now it's kind of goofy because if you used to Chrome OS, you might be thinking, and you would be correct, but you can already do that with any website, right? You could go to Thurrott.com, pin it to the shelf. You could say open in a window, and it kind of looks like an app window, and that's absolutely true. But the difference is when you do this with a PWA, it takes on the color scheme of the app. So in Starbucks' case, it's a green color scheme in the website, so the border is green, not whatever the system color is, like white. And also there's a special menu for PWAs that lets you access app options and so forth. The PWA itself, of course, will deliver notifications and do whatever, could work offline and all that kind of stuff. But this is, Google's they're testing it now, so it will probably be a couple of releases forward. They'll ship it natively, but this is the Chrome OS equivalent to how PWAs will work in Windows, which is why I think it's kind of interesting, just to kind of take a look at it. And you look at it, you're like, yeah, this is going to be really great. Why do we not have this yet? But it is happening.
So that's all great. I'm moving on with life. So annoyingly, you are correct. I can actually navigate the Xbox UI with the TV remote.
So you should go into settings and see if you can disconnect the remote. Not settings of the TV, settings of the Xbox.
Oh, it's on the Xbox?
Well, no, actually, you know what? It might be on your TV, but I would look in both places.
So what do you think this is under? Let's just...
Yeah. Right.
Expert settings, it's got to be.
Yeah, everything is under expert settings on the stupid TV. Yeah, see if there's a remotes thing or something.
Any net I have turned off. Change pin.
HDMI CEC is that thing I was thinking of, I believe.
Which, that's what I've got. HDMI CE.
Yeah, it's off.
CEC.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. It was working without you.
Yeah,
plugging it in, so.
exactly.
Which
TV
makes me think it might be an
controller.
Xbox option.
I have no idea. It's got to be somewhere. Input device
there you
manager,
go.
maybe.
Yep.
Add a Bluetooth keyboard or gamepad. No. Keyboard language, keyboard type. Nope.
So if you get all the way out of this and close that, and now you can navigate the Xbox. Yeah, so go up to, click, how do you do this without the Xbox buttons?
Yeah.
You might have to go over to, go down.
There we go.
I guess. There you go. Yeah, over to settings. You can't see the screen, unfortunately. It's all washed out, but, well, the white screen is. But, yeah, see if there's something in there. Actually, I have my Xbox here.
Maybe system. Let's see. It'd be nice if there was a search function on here, but that's...
I know, God forbid. Connect and devices and accessories. No, that's for Xbox controllers. Xbox accessories.
That's exactly what I wanted to shoot. Now, how do I go back?
Yeah, there's a back button on your remote that will probably do it.
Oh, yes, there is.
That is funny. I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we can do this on my own time, I guess.
Do this offline. Yeah, exactly. Control Xbox One with smart TV remote. I'm curious. Yeah, it's not obvious which TV remote to navigate Xbox. This says, it's funny. It says Xbox One doesn't support HDMI CEC. Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I don't know. But interesting. Well, if we find the solution, we will talk about it tomorrow. You got anything else for today, Paul?
No. I'm going to work on this Samsung thing. That's not really like a huge story per se, but no. I mentioned the issue with backup and recovery in Windows 10, and I have now restructured that chapter. I'm going to. I was going to finish it Sunday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll probably finish it Friday at 9 o'clock at night or something. But I'm going to get that done this week. I finally, I had to literally redo this entire chapter, and that is so I literally chose this because I thought it was going to be the simplest thing in the world, and it has just been a nightmare. But I'm going to get that done maybe today. I don't know. How about you?
I'm going to try to figure out my TV situation here.
Yeah.
This will be fun.
That's a good idea.
Maybe-ish. And that's really about it. But, Miracast still holding strong. Look at that. Way to go, Miracast. 2 points.
You should have a sign on your wall that says "Days without a Miracast failure."
Well, it's what it does is that it
they could always just say 0.
It doesn't retain like obviously the image is still up there, so it's working, but it just stops recognizing keyboard inputs, and so then you kind of gotta bang on it a little bit, hit
it must go to sleep basically, and stop.
Yeah,
it must. I don't know what it does.
I don't know.
Miracast.
I have to hit the right arrow 5 times to get it to switch, but sometimes it's working real quick, like it is right now. But what is it? Today's show is brought to you by Cloudberry Lab, folks. Check them out, cloudberrylab.com/FRD for a free trial offer. And as a reminder, tomorrow's show is Friday. I thought today was Friday for a while, but it's actually tomorrow is Friday, which means we have a live show at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find out more at throughout.com/live. And as always, thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you right back here next time.